Humanity is measured precisely by the struggle against the self. A person validates and discovers themselves through this inner struggle. The main mission of the prophets was to call people to this endeavor. According to the Holy Quran, Allah sent His messengers to people to help develop their inner beauty. One of these verses, recited each week in Friday prayer from Surah Al-Jumu'ah, states, "It is He who has sent among the unlettered a messenger from among themselves, reciting to them His verses and purifying them, and teaching them the book and wisdom, although before that they were clearly misguided." Surah Al-Jumu'ah, Ayah 2. The activities of the prophets aim to preserve the value of self-struggle and help people in this pursuit. Their purpose is to protect and enhance our inner beauty. Once the importance of this struggle is understood, the first question that arises is where to begin. The first step is crucial, as it determines which path we take. If the initial step is wrong, the chosen path will be incorrect, and the goal will be unreachable. Without a solid foundation, a building constructed on it will collapse with the first wind. To answer this question, let's look at how the prophets began their missions. The Prophet of Islam ascended Mount Safa in Mecca and asked the people, "If I inform you that an army is advancing from behind this mountain toward you, will you believe me?" Even in the time of ignorance, the Prophet was known as a reliable and honest person, earning the title Amin, the trustworthy one. The people of Mecca believed him so deeply that, upon hearing his question, they immediately reached for their weapons, ready to face an enemy, and responded, "Of course we would believe you. After all, we have never heard a lie from you." The Messenger of Allah said, "If you believe me so much, be assured that I warn you of an approaching and severe torment." The Prophet first of all frightened people with punishment. This fear was supposed to provide a slight shock, so that people would think for a moment about the purpose of their lives. The Prophet didn't begin his preaching with an invitation to good deeds, lectures about spirituality, or sermons about moral values. People are grown weary of advice. Kind words would not impact them deeply. If Prophet Muhammad had started his call with advice, he would have appeared as just an ordinary elder standing guard over conservatism. Such an elder might have wise words, but they would not captivate. People needed an impetus to look into their inner selves, a signal to be concerned about their inner state. And the Prophet provided this signal on Mount Safa. Faith, religion, and spirituality should begin with the question, "Who am I?" The root of disbelief and lack of spirituality is the failure to ask this question. Everyone has heard the word kafir in Islamic terminology. Unfortunately, today, it is often understood through the prism of takfirism and radicalism. When we hear kafir, we first think of a non-religious person, but the etymological meaning of the word kafir in Arabic is one who covers, conceals. Before Islam, an individual who covered something up was called a kafir in Arabic. In Islamic terminology, this word took on the meaning of a faithless person, because a kafir seeks to cover or suppress their spiritual needs, their inner voice. One who silences the voice of the soul, fully or partially, becomes a kafir. A hadith says, "The soul is troubled and finds peace by reuniting with the truth." The divine spirit naturally inspires a person towards spirituality and evolution. What is understood under the word evolution is not important. The importance here is that kafir is simply someone unwilling to move from their position, uninterested in inner growth. A person who doesn't want evolution falls into stagnation, doesn't seek for truth and righteousness, and surrounds themselves with falsehood. Kufr is a denial of one's nature, an indifference to one's essence. They need nothing except eating, drinking, and procreating. Thus, a person who remains indifferent to their unease and suppresses the voice of their soul becomes a kafir. They turn away from truth and fabricate stereotypes about religion. What are these stereotypes? About this in the next episode.